Okay, what is going on, CYPRX advanced YouTubers? Welcome back to the CYPRX YouTube page. As always, if you're interested in learning about cryptocurrencies, commodities, indices, foreign exchange, please go ahead and consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Guys and gals, we are almost at 6,000 YouTube subs. I cannot thank you all enough. Let's see if we can smash 6,000 YouTube subs before the end of May. We have a couple of days left, so make sure that if you aren't subscribed, you go ahead and do so now. In today's video breakdown, this is a live trading Zoom call that I had recorded for you guys that I announced to Twitter, saying right here, LCX full trading analysis, public breakdown, live in 15 minutes on Zoom. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, make sure that you do so. Throughout the week, I like to do these pop-up Zooms. And if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, then you're going to miss them. Usually we have about 15 to 20 people join. Absolutely outstanding. Lots of phenomenal information. In this video breakdown, we talk about mastering psychology, trading stress-free, limiting exposure to the market, trading in tandem with institutional order flow, not forcing trades, and then I do a fully diluted breakdown with my technical analysis on how I dollar cost averaged into LCX these past recent trading days. So I hope that you all enjoyed this video breakdown. Make sure that you smash that thumbs up button. It helps boost the YouTube algorithm, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. As always, I do appreciate the love and the support. Without further ado, let's get started in today's video breakdown. Okay, cool. Awesome. So in today's Zoom call, guys, I'm going to go over a tweet that I put out to you all on LCX. I know that if you guys don't trade LCX, that's fine. The technical analysis perspective that I'm about to give you all, you're going to want to stick around for this. I'm going to drop a lot of gems. We're going to go into mastering your psychology in an uncertain environment, trading in a stress-free way by utilizing technical analysis properly, a proper trading strategy, regardless if you trade ours here at CYPRX or another trading strategy, just wrapping your head around the mindset that you need to have when you come in and approach the market. So that way, you can turn profitability from these markets. Everybody's goal here, whether you want to admit it or not, is to make money. However, time and time again in this market, at least from my personal experience, and I'm sure that you guys and gals can correlate this, is when you attempt to try and make money in this market, that is when 9 times out of 10 you actually lose money in this market. Okay, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about proper risk to reward management, trade in tandem with the institutional order flow. I'm going to show you guys a deep dive via technical analysis on how I've been doing that with LCX. I'm also going to talk about how it is that I utilize Coinbase here, being in the United States, manifesting trading on LCX via TradingView, all right? Then changing that profit into USD coin, and then reinvesting that money back into LCX for profit, okay? So I'm gonna go over all that stuff here today. Make sure that you guys stick around for that. If you follow the CYPRX movement and what it is that we're attempting to really do here, and you're not part of the mentorship, you guys already know what the link is for that. You can find it in the YouTube channel, and if not, and you're interested in diving in on that a little bit further, you can always reach out to me, personal email or the business email or on Twitter. We are going to be officially closing the mentorship at the end of this year. Okay. So, like I had mentioned to the beginning, CYPRX students who have been with me since day one, we were only looking for 200 students when we were big on Instagram. And now we have not necessarily surpassed 200 students yet because there aren't 200 active students. But once we do, it's going to be an interview only process. And what I'm looking for is for that to happen towards the end of this year. So once that happens, guys and gals, like I said, this mentorship is going to be private, especially when we open up the trading floor and when we start to hire other mentors. It's not going to be something that people from the general public can just bandwagon about to entertain themselves with. We're a serious trading group who's really reaping profitability from this market, utilizing the strategy that I've created and that I've presented time and time again to the general public. Now, although I don't go into an extreme detailistic perspective on the YouTube on what it is that we do here at CYPRX, there's still so much more content to come for the CYPRX students that I have not even given them yet. Okay, so we're going to continue to grow. Let's dive into the charts today. I had made a tweet to you guys a couple of days ago on a chart via LCX where I'd explained to you guys that there was trendline liquidity being created. So let me just share my screen with you guys real fast and we'll jump into this technical analysis. Again, if you don't trade LCX, that's cool. Stick around for this technical analysis breakdown because you can utilize these methodologies across any currency, asset, commodity, NASDAQ, stocks, it doesn't matter. Nothing that I constitute here is trading advice. This is the strategy that I personally utilize and that the CYPRX students personally utilize. You guys who are watching this can, mimic this strategy, create your own trading parameters off of our trading strategies to give yourself an edge in the market. That is everybody's goal here, right? Because we operate in an uncertain environment where nothing is 100%. Our goal as traders is to formulate a higher probability that a trade is going to go in our favor, right? So our question as traders should be, how can we do that on a consistent basis? Okay, can you guys see my screen okay? Give me a thumbs up or just somebody say yeah real fast. So let me just hop over to Twitter real fast. And I just want to show you guys the tweet that I put out to you talking about LCX, talking about trendline liquidity, just to wrap your head around how accurate it is that we operate here at CYPRX. I don't pop smoke to you guys. I attempt to give you guys the best market analysis that I can possibly give you all from a realistic trader's perspective who's actually placing trades on a consistent basis in this market. I'm not just giving you guys technical analysis and not taking these trades. I'm really growing a crypto portfolio of over $200,000 right now. I'm in the process of that. People know me from the foreign exchange world, and now I'm utilizing the technical analysis that we utilize in the FX world over to cryptocurrency, and it is returning massive results. Okay, I like proof is in the pudding, and I like putting my money where my mouth is, and I like showing you guys proof via things that I release to the general public, just to show you guys that we know what we're talking about here at CYPRX when it comes to banking institutions being attracted to liquidity, making a liquidity grab before the market makers actually get involved. And as a retail trader, sitting on your hands and waiting to experience that in the market before you involve yourself in the market. Why? Because we want to trade in tandem with what the banking institutions are doing on a consistent basis. Okay, that is how, as retail traders, we can give ourselves an edge in this market. And when you fully understand that, you can really capitalize on a profitable lifestyle in this market and not just running around like a chicken with your head cut off, which is another thing that I'm going to show you guys in today's video breakdown that 90% of individuals are doing because they have no idea how to properly read these charts. They hear about cryptocurrency, they think it's some cool investment, they put their money in, and 2-3 weeks later, they lose money because we're in a bear market and they bought some top, right? So here on May 18th, which was about, what is today, the 26th? I don't know, we're in the 20s or something like that, right? It was maybe like, what, a week or two ago, okay? So I posted this out to you guys. This was LCX. And I'd mentioned to you guys that we were looking at trendline liquidity buy scenarios, okay? Here's the first tweet that I put out to you all. Okay, cool, here it is. All right, so LCX alert, potential buy trap in the form of trendline liquidity forming if current price can hold bullish order flow above 4.5 cents. We could see bullish recovery to grab equal highs around 9 cents. If price fails to hold the 4.5 cent region, we could see a dip below the trend line, okay? And I had mentioned that to you guys, and I had sent this screenshot out showing you guys the trend line liquidity. We jump over here to the LCX charts, and I currently entered into a position 2 New York trading sessions ago, right here in this area. I'm going to break that entirely down for you guys here in just 1 second, but I wanted to show you all that that made a massive return on our initial investment on Coinbase. Now, what it is that I like to do on Coinbase is I buy off of TradingView chart analysis on Coinbase. So once I see a dip or once I see a buying setup, I buy on Coinbase. I let the profit turn on USD coin. I take that profit out, and then I follow the same suit. And I've been doing that time and time again on LCX, XLM, Algorand, and Cardano. And it works time and time again. Now, it's not a lot of profit because the account is not leveraged. And that is how I've been able to change, $2,000 on Coinbase into $3,000 to $4,000 in a matter of a month, right? And that doesn't seem like a lot of money on Coinbase or in general, but if you look at it from a percentages return on initial investment, that is an insane return, okay? If you put $1,000 to $2,000 in a bank on January 1st, 2022, and then went to revisit that same bank account December 31st, 2022, that bank account would probably only have an extra dollar in it, and that dollar would be worth nothing, right? Because the United States dollar and the economy right now is just completely crap in my personal opinion. But you know that banking institutions don't pay any type of interest, or at least they don't pay high interest rates, okay? So if you can scale $1,000 and turn it into $1,000, you are doing more than what a banking institution will give you. And that is what a lot of people don't understand about the potential in this market for you to do. Okay, so showing you guys that strategy in detail, why I entered into this position, and then showing you guys right now with current price action information, the same exact thing that I did in this area, and you could have entered into a potential buy area right here, utilizing literally the same exact confluences, okay? So again, these are the confluences that I display to you guys on the YouTube channel and to the general public. The CYPRX students know in detail how to attack psychological levels, how to measure momentum, how to focus on more in-depth pattern identification. We also talk about higher time frame analysis, which I don't really go into an extreme detailistic perspective in on the YouTube, okay? There's a lot of things that I give to the CYPRX students that I don't give to the general public that you guys can have access to, but I'm telling you right now, okay, we are going to another level with our technical analysis, all right? We're not messing about. What I'm attempting to teach you guys is how to trade in tandem with the banking institutions, how to operate in an uncertain environment and create a stress-free trading environment for yourself by giving yourself an edge in the market, okay? Again, like I said at the beginning of the Zoom call, that is our goal as traders, is we need to understand that we operate in an uncertain environment on a consistent basis. How can we give ourselves an edge in the market to flip profitability? Okay, that should be your number one question. And also at the same time doing what? Protecting your capital, preserving what it is that you come into this market with. If you constantly come into this market with money and constantly leave this market without money, then you're not doing yourself any type of justice. You're going to get wiped out. You're going to think that this market is a scam, regardless if it's forex or cryptocurrency, and you're going to become a statistic. And when you become a statistic in this market, traders like myself and other people on CYPRX are the people that reap the benefits consistently time and time again, okay? And all you guys have to do is really pay attention to what the markets are telling you. It is not hard. It just takes time, okay? In time, what I mean by that is if you've ever heard the phrase, it takes 10,000 hours for your brain to be able to professionally identify something, that is the same in the markets, okay? It is going to take your brain a lot of time and training to teach yourself how to see these patterns and how to react to them by managing your risk properly, by taking profit properly, right? By controlling your emotions properly. Over time, all right, I'm not going to sit here and say that everybody has what it takes, because that's not the case. That's not reality, okay? But the people that really want to give it their all and change their financial footprint can do so. Again, not financial advice, right? Okay, so just starting from scratch, all right, what I want you guys to look at and pay attention to is the trend line liquidity that I had identified to you guys on Twitter, which, as you guys can see here by this vertical line, all right, we can see, or sorry, excuse me, this slanted line, we can see that the third touch of the trend line is where the trend line was violated. I mentioned to you guys time and time again that 90% of traders read on baby pips that the third touch of the trend line is where, right, the trend line move, quote unquote, is supposed to happen. It's the most powerful touch of a trend line. You don't believe me? Go look at baby pips. That's literally the definition of a trend line. And as you can see here, that is where the banking institutions took over this trend line and came and activated any sell stops beneath these lows and liquidated any leveraged buy positions beneath these lows. Remember, banking institutional traders are also attacking banking institutional traders. I'm not too entirely sure if the retail space can leverage LCX yet, but banking institutions can leverage LCX, right? They're the ones that have the power to do so. So what do we see banking institutions doing? They're coming and attacking less informed money, okay? Less informed money are people that trade retail strategy methodologies, okay? Time and time again, I've shown you guys that. So understanding that coming into this trading area where we placed the entry, we knew all that. We knew that the banking institutions were going to seek to attempt to attack trendline liquidity before we saw any bullish moves. And that once we saw that attack and that attempt to grab the liquidity beneath the trend line, then we can get involved as CYPRX traders, regardless if the market dumped beneath these lows at around 4.5 cents that I mentioned to you guys, or if we saw a bullish reversal after that immediate grab of liquidity. And that's exactly what we got. We got a bullish reversal signal, okay? So now I want to talk to you guys about pattern identification, setting yourself up with the best risk to reward, and giving yourself confidence in this market by understanding pattern recognition, okay? What do I mean by that, okay? I said at the beginning of the Zoom call that you want to trade in tandem with the banking institutions. Well, as traders, we can understand a few things about this market. Remember, we operate as retail traders, as retail speculators in an uncertain environment. So we never know 100% of the time what the market is going to do. But what we can understand is what the market has done in the past to give ourselves a higher probability of what the market is most likely going to do in the future. And time again with this strategy, what I show you guys is this pattern. Once the market makers show us a willingness to grab liquidity from a certain area, regardless if it's a low or a high, okay, we know that once the market makers push into an area of liquidity and we see a reaction from that area in the form of a break of structure. So what do I mean by that? We see this low right here. This wick violated this low right here. and we see the market shift momentum and create new market structure. This is the pattern I teach you guys on YouTube to try and identify, where we can see here, this low right here violated this previous low. Right after that, we created a significant higher low that led to a market break in structure. You guys can see these candlesticks right here. We violated the previous candlestick high. Okay, so let me zoom into this area for you all. What do I mean by that? You see these candlestick close right here. Okay, they violate the previous candlestick close. So what we have to understand is that the market makers are the only people with the amount of money that can move the market in this type of a way. So once we see this pattern, we know that the banking institutions are involved. We do not know that the banking institutions are going to continue to push price action higher, right? That is what I mean by operating in a level of uncertainty. But as traders, once we see this pattern, we have to accept that, number one, we don't know what's going to happen next. Number two, based off of past price action information, 9 times out of 10, when this pattern prints, the market continues with whatever order flow the market makers grab liquidity from and shifted momentum to. Okay, so what does that mean? You're giving yourself a higher probability for a trade to go in your favor when you see this pattern. Again, that is our goal as traders, is to give ourselves a higher probability. Well, once we see this pattern, a grab of liquidity beneath previous lows and a market shift in momentum, our goal is to move in tandem with what that price action information is telling us. And this price pattern, regardless if you look at it from as above, so below, is that the market makers are currently in control and have bullish or are respecting bullish order flow. Okay, so if we want to move in tandem with that, we then have to piece together a couple of other things, which is what? That the banking institutions like to buy at a discounted range if they're buying, and they like to sell at a premium range if they're selling, right? So what does that mean? If we're looking to buy as retail investors and we see the market pattern, grab liquidity from a previous low and break previous market structure, right? This is the pattern right here. We know that when we see this pattern in the market, market makers are in control. Once you see that, ask yourself the question, if I want to move in tandem with what the banking institutions are doing, and I know that they like to buy at a discount, I'm not going to do what the rest of the retail herd does and chase this market. The rest of the retail herd will FOMO out and buy at the top, and that is why they always see a decline in their overall portfolio. They are impatient traders, and they do not understand market dynamics. Market dynamics says time and time again that the banking institutions cannot push the market up for forever. They must add to their overall order. You guys should know by now, by watching the YouTube channel, that the market makers cannot just put in one institutional order that drives price all the way up to new all-time highs. They consistently have to add to their overall position time and time again to scale the market to where their overall goal was. So as retail investors, knowing all that information, if we want to get in on an uptrend, we then need to be patient after seeing this pattern and scale in to a position at a higher low somewhere in the future. Now, we don't know where that higher low is going to be. So TradingView gives us tools, right? i.e. the Fibonacci discounted tool, which everybody on freaking social media utilizes as some magical prediction tool. Time and time again, I've shown you guys how, yes, anybody can jump on the charts and say, hey, look, this is a magical Fibonacci retracement number of the 3.8 blah, 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 blah level. And look, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, XDC, have respected it time and time again. But you as an individual have to understand that that is not what this tool was created for, and that the banking institutions are not utilizing it that way. The banking institutions are not going on XRP and Bitcoin and drawing Fibonacci's and freaking saying that they're going to push price to 100, right? Because some magical Fibonacci number. No, no, no. Okay, understand that. When you see somebody on YouTube utilizing Fibonacci that way, laugh at them, unsubscribe, and get off of their channel and learn how to trade these markets profitably, okay? What do you use the Fibonacci tool for? Right here, operating in an uncertain environment, you are attempting to give yourself more certain parameters to give yourself a profitable trade. Well, if we know that the banking institutions like to buy from a discount, we know that the banking institutions are in control of this market. We know that the banking institutions, if they're going to continue bullish order flow to drive price higher, are going to add to their position, again, at a discount. How are we going to get in on that move? We're going to measure from the low that violated the previous structure, that created a new market structure high, and we're going to attempt to guess or react to where future discounted prices could be. Okay. And that is how I teach the CYPRX students to scale into positions. So now we have a perimeter of discounted price where the future price of LCX could potentially fall into, where as retail investors, we are operating in an uncertain environment. We're looking to give ourselves some type of certainty in this market. Well, right now, what I just did for you was show you how you can limit your exposure to this market by minimizing your risk. I showed you how you can give yourself an edge in this market by moving in tandem with what the bank and institutions are doing. And I showed you the literally, this is the pattern that they print when the bank and institutions are in control. So I just gave you 3 parameters to set yourself up for success in this market. Now look at what you could have done on LCX had you followed the Twitter, followed the analysis, and applied the simplistic things that I teach on the YouTube channel. Here's the market grab of liquidity from a previous low. We already know that the bank and institutions like to piggyback off of previous bank and institutional buy orders. Well, look at this. Here's a New York session. Where do they buy from? 5 cents and 8s. I don't even know how to say that number, right? Okay. The psychological level, 0.5 cents, 0.800. Okay. We see them buy from that right here, this New York session. Well, look what the bank and institutions did for New York. They got past price action at a high. Logically speaking, we know that bank and institutions are not going to buy from a high. So what do? They manipulate price down to lows to grab liquidity, the liquidity that they need to drive the market higher. Once they grab that liquidity, they show us a sign by breaking previous market structure. So here is that pattern right here. We see the market makers grab a previous low from New York session buys, and that leads to a market breaking structure. All we had to do was see that the market created a higher low after the liquidity grab, which is right here. So this is now the new A to B move. Okay, take your Fibonacci from the new A to B move, where the market started to retrace. And what do we get? We get a 62 to 79% retracement where the bank and institutions like to buy from. New York session, past price action over to Asia. Asia manipulated price to the downside, and then they took buy positions at 62 to 79% discount. This is where our entry was on LCX, and you guys can see the return that it principled over time. This took 1, 2, 3 New York trading sessions to come into fruition, okay? And we took this profit out, and now I'm gonna show you guys how we're looking to reallocate that profit back into LCX in this general vicinity, okay? I want you guys to really pay attention to everything that I just said to you guys. Look at the accuracy here, okay? The bank and institutional traders during New York session just did the same exact thing. They grabbed liquidity from a low right here. You guys can see that, okay? Here's that wick low. We break a previous market structure. So here is a new high. Taking your Fibonacci from the low, here's the higher low after the grab of liquidity to the high that broke previous market structure in this area. Again, here's the low, the higher low after the grab of liquidity, taking your Fib extension up, 62 to 79% discount. And had you have entered in that area, you guys can see the price appreciation. Again, it's the same pattern identification. It does not change. If the market makers are in control of the market, they will print this type of pattern, okay? So I thought that I'd show you guys in an attempt to show you how I scaled into LCX. This was, complete CYPRX confluences. Again, not going into an extreme detail with measuring momentum, volume, volume point of control, psychological levels. There's so many gems that I give to the CYPRX students that they can add as catalysts to give themselves an edge in this market, to again, situate themselves in the 10% of individuals that have some type of clue of what is going on. Remember, we operate in an environment of uncertainty. 90% of people are freaking clueless in this market. I'm going to show you guys again why that is. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that technical analysis breakdown. Currently looking to enter into this position. If we can see a retracement on LCX, logically speaking, we know that if LCX can hold, let's just say the 6 cent psychological level, and we get a discounted price from this new rally that just took place, and we can hold in the form of a higher low formation, we know most likely that if these levels hold, right, if these levels are not broken, we are going to continue with bullish order flow, right? So we're going to be looking to enter into this general vicinity. Now, again, nothing is guaranteed in this market. This is just how I'm growing an account on Coinbase, scaling into dollar cost average positions on LCX. I do the same thing with XLM, Cardano, and Algorand. Okay, all on Coinbase. So again, that is not an exchange that's hard to operate. It is extremely simple. And that's how I do it. Okay, so showing you guys what I mean by uncertainty in this market, I want to take you guys over to a couple of different fundamental articles, just showing you the up and down, up and down, up and down, and everybody's mindset that's just completely saturating this market. So here's an article right here that reads, one metric indicates Bitcoin could crash by over 50% as macro environment worsens, says crypto quant CEO. So what do individuals reading this formulate a bias of? They formulate a bias of a market crash coming, right? Immediately following that, what do we see? Another article right here, Bitcoin weekly forecast, the last rebound before capitulation, okay? So now we see a bullish article. So right here on the same day, we see a bearish article. Same day, we see a bullish article. Coming over here, what do we see? Crypto Strategist says Bitcoin prime for a bounce as U.S. stock market flashes bullish signal. We see another bullish article. What do we see here? Bitcoin bull Michael Novogratz warns crypto traders, says all coins at risk of another 70% decline. So now this is confusing, right? This is conflicting with the last three articles because the first article was bearish. Then the three middle articles were bullish. Now we see another bearish article. So retail traders reading these fundamentals on a consistent basis that have no idea what the market is doing, their brains are all scrambled, okay? As traders, what you want to attempt to do is create a strategy that, again, is going to prove consistency in an uncertain environment, okay? That is our goal as traders. Now, I'm not sitting here tooting my horn, saying that our CYPRX strategy is 100% accurate because it is not. There are times where we can misinterpret the market. There are times where news fundamentals could come out and sway the market 100 pips against us, right? But as CYPRX traders, our goal here is to identify when the bank and institutional traders are involved in the market and then attempt to try and trade in tandem with them, okay? I hope that you guys enjoyed this video breakdown. I hope that I shared enough of the uncertainty in the market by showing you those fundamentals. Don't believe everything that you read on the internet. I just showed you guys how there's bullish articles, bearish articles, back to back to back to back. Nobody realistically knows what's going on in this market. Do not believe anybody that says, trust me, right? My analysis is 100% correct because that is incorrect as well. Nobody in this market can be 100% right 100% of the time, okay? And when you learn to accept that, you will start to see all these YouTube gurus out there that take their Fibonacci tool and measure out price and tell you price is going to some certain unrealistic level in the future, that is not what is going to get you paid. In the video that I dropped tonight, I teach you guys how I utilize trading crypto and forex on a leveraged account. So make sure that you guys stick around for that. I appreciate you guys tuning into the Zoom call. I hope that it helped. I'll end the Zoom call recording there and leave this up to discussion. So go ahead and unmute yourselves if you guys have any questions for me, and I'll leave the floor open for about another minute and a half, or maybe 5 to 10 minutes, regardless of how many questions we have. Okay, CYPRX YouTubers, I hope that you guys enjoyed that video breakdown. A very interesting Zoom call that we had with the CYPRX students and the general public here on the Twitter and YouTube space. Remember that nothing that I constitute here is financial advice. I'm not attempting to tell you all to buy or sell any type of foreign exchange pair or cryptocurrency. I'm just attempting to teach you all the strategy that I personally use on a day-to-day basis. You guys are all grown adults here. You all need to make your own executive decisions in this market at the end of the day. If you guys enjoyed this video breakdown, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are almost at 6,000 YouTube subs. Smash that thumbs up button, and I will see you guys in the next video breakdown. As always, be cognizant, be aware, and I'll see you guys next time.